Hagerty is the world's largest provider of specialty insurance for enthusiast vehicles and supports keeping car culture alive through youth programs, the Historic Vehicle Association, the RPM Foundation, and more. Hagerty is home to key programs such as the Hagerty Drivers Club, Hagerty Drive Share, Hagerty Valuation Tools, the Hagerty Drivers Club magazine, and much, much more. For more information, visit their website at hagerty.com. PCA Sim Racing is proud to have Hagerty Motorsports as its 2021 title sponsor.
From the streets of Long Beach, we saw many interesting factors, but for one driver, James Frasnick came out on top and survived. Now we continue our California trek to one of the most famous circuits in all of North America, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. Who will survive the corkscrew? Who will be the one to continue this trend as we head all across California? And with that, we say good evening to you all as we are getting ready to watch the Ballast Point Entry League Series on Podium Esports live from the virtual WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Good evening, everyone. I am Taylor Burris, and up in the producer's booth, we have none other than Ryan Bauer. Cameras are provided tonight by Dougie Beard. We are excited to be here with you tonight, bring you all of the action, the stories, and the great, amazing Porsches that you will see here tonight on Podium Esports, as well as on iRacing.com/live. As always, the PCA Sim Racing Series is brought to you by Hagerty. Since 1984, Hagerty has been the worldwide leader in collector car insurance. Everything they do is geared towards enabling and enhancing the experience of automotive enthusiasts and making sure that the vehicles we love and the lifestyles that revolve around them don't just survive, but thrive well into the future. Services include the Hagerty Drivers Club, Drive Share by Hagerty, the shop, and much, much more to fuel car culture. Hagerty, let's drive together. Also, we have to say thank you to Ballast Point, who is a proud sponsor to support the PCA Sim Racing Entry League. Just like the winners raise their trophies at the finish line, Ballast Point, too, is lifting its trophy beer, Sculpin IPA, to say cheers to all of you. We're all winners at the racetrack with a Sculpin in hand. Ballast Point is celebrating independence and 25 years of craft beer all year long. Cheers to you, and cheers to the drivers in the Ballast Point entry-level series. And we are here once again as we continue our California tour as qualifying is underway at the beautiful WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We're going to take a quick look at this beautiful, iconic circuit located just over at Monterey Bay. As we take a look, this 2.2-mile circuit opened in 1957 and has hosted many forms of motor racing all across the United States, from sports cars, open-wheel, motorcycles, as well as many other great iconic races. Of course, the most famous corner in all of motor racing here in North America, as well as at this circuit, is from turn 7 to turn 8, the corkscrew, a challenging downhill corner where you're practically going to have to hold on for dear life in order to survive. There you'll see some of the camera angles that Dougie Beard provides for us that you will get the chance to see how much of a descent you will have to negotiate in order to survive. As we are watching things unraveling here at this beautiful racetrack, taking a look at some of the things going on this track. Currently, it's about 9:21 in sim time. We should be going racing a little bit after 9:30 a.m., but it's a very cool morning here in the virtual Monterey Bay. 67 degrees, partly cloudy, with track temps at 69 degrees. Winds out of the north at 2 miles an hour. As we see some cars now out on the track to complete their qualifying attempt. There you see the last race winner on the streets of Long Beach, James Frasnick, who had a very dominant run, but ran into some trouble in the middle part of the race, lost the lead, but was able to recover and be able to capitalize on others' mistake and win at Long Beach. Of course, the Suncoast Florida Region's driver is looking to see if he can continue his streak here on the West Coast of the United States in beautiful sunny California, as we'll take a watch and see how his qualifying attempts will be here. The cars that you see now as part of course, the famous PCA Sim Racing Series, we are utilizing the Porsche 911 GT3R. Once again, for those of you who are wondering where you can see this car in the real world, pretty much any GT3 base series, whether it be the SRO as well as in IMSA, you will see this car competing. As we see Tim Sherratt from the Gold Coast region, this is a home track for him, as we are going to be on board here as he's coming up to the Ray Hall Straight, coming through this corner as a great opportunity to build speed, build some momentum as he comes out of turn number 6. Now here we go. This is the corkscrew that we're going to be seeing multiple times. He hits the braking zone, gets right in there, and then down the hill, a little off track. But that time will not count, unfortunately, for him, and he will have to try one more time. Currently, as drivers are now starting to lay down lap times in qualifying, James Frasnick, your defending race winner from the last race at Long Beach, is your pole sitter right now with a 122.583, absolutely flying right now, as you're on board with Canada West very own Graham Rennie, who is in the number 28. Of course, the PCA Sim Racing Series, which is the more higher levels, for those of you who watch that, was up in Montreal at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And tomorrow night you will see the other remaining classes compete, the club and plural classes, which will be very exciting to watch as we get ready for more Porsche racing action all throughout the rest of the week. Pacific Northwest region driver Randy Lervold will be now behind the wheel as he comes through in his number 9 Porsche, coming out of Rainy Curve, turn number 9, before making the short run to turn 10, and then another passing opportunity as we come down turn 11. We'll see a lot of great racing action here, but you have to be careful not to overshoot it. He does a great job, holds the inside line, goes a little bit wide, but let's see what he does as he comes to the line. He will set a time as he completes his lap, a 127.559, and it looks like that time did not count. He must have had an off track somewhere, so he'll have to try again. Next up, we'll see from the Potomac region, Steve Randolph in car number 7. He has yet to take a time yet, and he will see if he can be able to improve on that, as he did run a time, but he had an off track somewhere, so that 125 will not count for him. So that's one of the things here with the iRacing service. We have something called incident limits. So if you have an off track or contact with a wall or another car, your time will not count. And of course, in the race scenario, if you make too many of those contacts, you will then be penalized, whether it be through a drive-through penalty, or also you will have to be able to have struggles with possible disqualification. We don't have a limit here in this series because these are future up-and-coming stars in the PCA, and it looks like Steve Randolph will not set a time just yet. Michael Lane from the Potomac region, zone number 2, is trying to see if he can set a time. He has yet to do so at this point, but coming up to the corkscrew, hits his braking points, beautiful attempt, and tries to keep it down in there. The PFC brakes Porsche having a good run as he comes out of Rainy Curve. Nice line. You have to be careful not to go too wide to this corner as you come into turn 10. You can let the gap, let it coast a little bit through here, and then sets it up for the hard braking zone of turn number 11. Beautiful job out of there. And as he comes down across the start-finish line, we will see if he improves. And Michael Lang will go up to P11 with a 126.487, so a good starting spot. That's going to be now 18 cars that have taken times. We're waiting times for Bruce Friobi, Vincent Parnell, Steve Komatz, Ronald Malaya, Shannon McHugh, Dave Sell, and Steve Randolph, who have yet to take a time. There's David Sell from the Central Indiana region in that jet black number 71 Porsche. And he's just taking his time a little bit, getting to see what the track conditions are like for him right now. And that's what we'll see sometimes in qualifying. Drivers not rushing out on their first attempt. As David will try to see if he can get a good time out of turn number 9, the rainy curve, through turn 10. And we'll see if he can be able to get a good qualifying time here in the closing minutes. Just under 7 minutes left to go in qualifying. A couple of drivers have already taken time now, as Tom Farfaris is another driver who's taken time. David Sell comes across the line. His time did not count that time. Actually, it did, a 136.742. That's good enough for P22. Waiting for Malaya and McHugh to take their qualifying time. There's Brad Boyd in 17th position. Currently, his fastest time is a 126.829. Of course, Brad ran last week at Long Beach and came home with a 12th place finish. So we'll see if he can be able to improve on that here in the race. Tom Farfaris from the Upper Canada region in the Pfaff Motorsports Porsche, as he's working his way through. Last week, Tom had not the best finishes. He was up towards the front towards the beginning of the race, but fell back to 15th position after running into some trouble late in the going. But he is going to see if he can improve on that in his number 4. Currently, right now, as we look and see where he is in the time charts, still sits in the 21st position. Five and a half minutes left to go in qualifying, and still James Frasnick, your provisional pole sitter here tonight at WeatherTech Raceway. And we have a couple of other drivers who are trying to see if they can improve on their lap times here in the closing minutes. Cyril Bernard currently is sitting second on the front row. Chris Sari, Fred Chin, and Andrew Aloya round out your top 5. Tom Farfaris going back out onto the racing circuit to see if he can get another fast time, to see if he can improve upon that. As car 71 of David Sell also going to try to see if he can get a faster qualifying to work his way up through the field. Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca is a very challenging circuit. It has tested the might of many strong competitors in motor racing throughout the decades. And these drivers here are going to be tested to the absolute limit here for the next few minutes here tonight. Of course, tonight's race is a 30-minute race, as Sell will then now decide to not continue on. Two drivers still have yet to take a time. Ronald Malaya in the number 1 and Shannon McHugh in the 14 Porsche. They will be hopefully going out on the track before the time expires in the qualifying session. 15 minutes is given to the drivers to try to set the fastest lap possible here tonight, as they continue to get set up here. And we are now just moments away from the race. We're going to have a quick warm-up to let these drivers get themselves stretched out a little bit more, get a couple of more minutes of practice as we get ready for race number 2 of the season. A lot of great racing action here as we get ready to watch race number 2 of the season as we are on board with Johan Nye. Johan, of course, working his way through as he is from the Potomac region. And a lot of drivers are looking forward to competing here tonight. Johan, actually, if we could take a look learn a little bit more about him from the Potomac region in car 141. This is his first season, but he also enjoys other forms of racing. He has also competed in autocross events with the PCA, and this is his 6th month here competing and working with the PCA, and it's going to be exciting. One of the things that he enjoys to do outside of being behind the wheel of a Porsche is being up in the air. He has flown airplanes, sailplanes, hang gliders, and even hot air balloons. So, going to hopefully keep it on the ground here today, Johan, but we look forward to that. Couple of cars still out on the track trying to get those last few moments of warm-up ready to go. There's Tim Sharrock. Tim, of course, last round at the beautiful Long Beach Street Circuit, came home with a decent finish as we look through his last results. Tim Sharrock came home with a top 5. In fact, the last car on the lead lap after starting in 22nd. The Gold Coast Region's driver looking forward to seeing if he can have it one step better before we go at the end of tonight's race. And that beautiful Martini livery Porsche, one of the more iconic paint schemes that we see on many Porsches throughout the decades here in motor racing, the 924. As we look forward to seeing what he can do here tonight. Another iconic Porsche paint scheme from Cyril Bernard, the Flying Lizards Motorsports paint scheme, car number 88. Looking forward to seeing what he can do tonight. As Cyril, actually, at the last round, if we look from the last race at Long Beach Street Circuit, he did not start. So this will be a first attempt for Cyril Bernard in the Flying Lizards colors. We'll have to see what he can do here tonight. He's starting in 2nd position, so he is definitely going to be one to watch here for tonight's event. Currently right now at the top of the warm-up leaderboard, it is Chris Sari who is leading the way. Chris Sari from the Golden Gate region. This is a home track for him, as we'll see what he can do in car number 19 out on the circuit, as the last few seconds of warm-up are about to finish up, and we are about to go green flag racing here in the next few moments. Very exciting. We welcome you all here on Podium Esports, as well as also on iRacing.com/live to watch the next 30 minutes of Porsche action as we get ready to see these future PCA champions compete and have at it here in the beautiful Monterey Bay as we get ready for racing once again here. We're happy to have you with us, and hopefully you will enjoy tonight's action. And with that, it is now time to give you your starting lineup for tonight's race, and it is James Frasnick who will be on the pole with a 122.420. He has a little over a second advantage over second place Cyril Bernard with a 123.568. In third position, you'll find Chris Sari, followed by Fred Chin in fourth position. Andrew Aloya rounds out your top five, followed by Enrico Gattarato in sixth position. Charles Fieri starts in seventh, followed by Josh Carson in eighth. Ninth is John Gibson, rounding out your top 10, Steve Randolph. In 11th, you'll find Art Schwartz, followed by Graham Rennie in the 12th position. Randy Lervold will be starting in 13th, followed by Michael Lang in 14th. Jeff Ferguson will be starting in the 15th position, followed by Steve Komatz in 16th. Brad Boyd will be starting in the 17th position, followed by Johan Nye in 18th. Tim Chirac starts in 19th, followed by Vincent Parnell, rounding out your top 20. 21st is Tom Farfaris, and 22nd goes to David Sell. 22 cars starting tonight's race as we look forward to see the great racing action here tonight. We're happy to have you with us here. As the pace car makes the hard left turn out of harm's way, James Frasnick will lead them to the green flag. Out of turn 11. Pace car is off as we see the green flag is underway here at Monterey Bay. There you see Barney the Flagman waving the green flag once again. And there they go, down toward the Andretti hairpin for the first time at full speeds in race conditions. Chris Sari looks to the inside of Bernard. He'll move up to that second position. We are still clean and green, no major incidents. Fred Chin moves up into the top five after getting around some competitors as they work their way over to turn number 2. Great racing action. James Frasnick has pulled away by about 0.6 over Chris Sari through turn 3 and 4. Working their way over to turn number 5, they enter the braking zone. Sari trying to catch up to Frasnick as they work their way out of that short chute to turn 6. And then it's the steep climb up through the Ray Hall straight. Ooh, trouble for Graham Rennie, who had an issue off course. He'll continue on, though. As Cyril Bernard, also our front runner on the front row, had an issue. Into the corkscrew for the first time, though, James Frasnick has a 1.4 advantage over Chris Sari as they come out of the corkscrew into the rainy curve. Great drive for Frasnick as he comes up to turn number 10. Through turn 10, it is smooth sailing for the number 76, the Suncoast, Florida driver, into turn 11 for the first time at race pace, and lap 1 is completed. As we have 28 minutes left to go, 22 laps, whichever comes first. It's going to be exciting, and we are going to see what happens. A little bit of battling going on for the 5th position between car 25 and car number 3. That is Enrico Gattarato, followed by Charles Fieri, who has a pass to position. Enrico moves up to 5th. The Pacific Northwest driver on a stellar move up through the field as he now sets his sights on the 7 of Steve Randolph. Cyril Bernard has fallen back to the 13th position after his incident coming out of turn number 6 up the Ray Hall straight, but will work his way through. Looking for some other battles going on. We'll have to still keep our eye on that battle for the 5th spot. There you see Cyril, as Enrico has set his sights on Randolph and making incredible gains. You're riding on board as they go up the Ray Hall straight. And Steve Randolph is the next victim for Enrico as they enter into the corkscrew. Big send for Charles Fieri as they work their way down the hill up to the rainy curve of turn number 9. And Randolph is actually pulling away from Enrico as they come up to turn 10. You ride on board with Charles Fieri, and that's number 25 pink Porsche. Great racing action here as they come out of turn 11 down the front straightaway. Beautiful drive for these 3 drivers as they continue to do battle. New fastest time of the race currently goes to James Frasnick with a 123.660 as they come across the line. Entering back into turn 1, Enrico gets a big send. He's going to look to see if he can pull it off. Not quite enough. There you see Frasnick on your screen. And then now back to the battle for 5th. Steve Randolph still pulling away a little bit over Enrico as they come through turn number 4. Turn 4 is a corner you can kind of go flat out in these Porsches with the aerodynamics that you get to have, plus also the traction control and the brake assist that they have here, the anti-lock brakes. As they work their way out of turn 5 up to the hill of turn number 6 before they make the steep incline up the Ray Hall Straight once again here. And trouble for Fieri, he goes off, but he will unfortunately not be in this battle. That will move John Gibson in the number 21 up to the 6th position, followed by Steve Komatz moving up, Jeff Ferguson as well. As there you see Fieri now trying to see if he can hold off Randy Lervold, who moves to the 10th position. Further back, we'll find Tim Sherrock from the Gold Coast region. He is in a beautiful battle here between Graham Rennie and Johan Nye. There you see the Canada West driver, Rennie, trying to see if he can move up a spot, as well as Sherrock. As they enter turn 11, Rennie takes a peek to the inside, not close enough to make the pass stick, and loses some time, actually gets a little loose off corner exit. That opens the door for Tim Sherrock to maybe make a move, not close enough either, as they work down the front straightaway, heading into the Andretti hairpin. Beautiful attempt for a braking opportunity to set up a pass, but as they enter, he's going to take the high line, then cut to the inside, a double apex corner, the Andretti hairpin is. So you have to time it right in order to get the best possible corner exit off of turn 1. Through turn 3 they go through the little short chute of turn 5 underneath the Firestone Bridge, as they continue to do battle here at WeatherTech Raceway. There's the battle for 4th going on between Enrico Guerrato and Steve Randolph. Down the corkscrew they go. A little off track almost right there. He's still going to go off. Randolph has to hold on and loops it around. Unfortunate move Enrico up to the 4th position. Cyril Bernard has moved up a couple of spots. Now he sits in the 11th position. A strong recovery so far. Can he get back in the top 10? He has his sights on car number 9. That's Randy Lervold, who is in front of him. There you see Cyril Bernard in that Flying Lizards Motorsports Porsche number 88. We have a couple of Flying Lizards out there. Car 21 of John Gibson also is running the Flying Lizard colors, also on the racetrack. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Porsche Car Club of America Sim Racing Series Ballast Point Entry League. This is a league that allows those drivers who are new to the Porsche Sim Racing, the Porsche Car Club of America Sim Racing Series, to get a chance of learning the ropes of sim racing. They're not up to the levels of our challenge, our sports club, or even pro class level drivers, which we run on Wednesdays and Friday nights at other circuits across the United States and around the world in the virtual world. But also this gives them a chance to learn and get some tutoring, some training, which the PCA has done wonderful with their driver education programs for these up-and-coming sim racing drivers, as we still see the battling happening here inside the top 10 as they work down the corkscrew. Beautiful camera angles by Dougie Beard as Charles Fieri leads on in the 9th position. Of course, the PCA, the Sim Racing Series number 7 is also going on. They just finished 2 out of their 4 races so far for this week, as they are competing up in Canada at Montreal, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Some great racing action happened last night for the challenge as well as the club class. Tonight, or tomorrow night, is the sport and pro classes that will compete. We'll bring you all the action on the PCA Sim Racing Series network, as well as Podium Esports. As we are on board, I was seeing who that we were on board with, but I believe that's Jeff Ferguson in the number 18 or number 16, who is just up ahead. Oh, that's car 18 from the Ohio Valley region. Ferguson having a great run last week at Long Beach. He put on a decent performance, as we are seeing here tonight, as he's working his way up through the field here, having a quiet night for him at the beginning. Ferguson, of course, started in the 15th spot, moved up to 8. He's one of our biggest movers here for the night. Let's see if he can work his way up through the field even more so before the checker flag falls. And in fact, our biggest mover overall for the night is Steve Komatz from the Rocky Mountain region. He has picked up 10 spots after starting in the 22nd position. So a great drive for Komatz as he is trying to see if he can gain a few more spots before the checker flag falls here tonight. As we watch on, Steve Randolph in the 7, currently sitting P7. The Potomac region driver goes a little off, and he will continue to try and do battle here. Beautiful recovery job. Still looking on and see, here comes Fieri to the inside, taking a peek to see if he can get around Jeff Ferguson, who's up ahead of him. Out of turn number 5, they approach the short chute to turn 6 before they make the incline up the Ray Hall straight. There you also see Cyril Bernard right there behind them. A 3-car battle for the 8th position between the 18 and 25 and 88 on board with the Northeast driver, Cyril Bernard, down the corkscrew. Contact is made. Cyril, beautiful job to avoid incident and continues on, but unfortunate for Charles Fieri, he makes contact into the gravel, drops back out of the top 10 almost. As we're on board with Steve Randolph, I'm pretty sure a race official should be taking a look at that as they enter into turn 11. He's trying to catch up now to, I believe, that's Steve Komatz up in the 6th position. One car coming off pit road that I believe is car 20 or car 10, Vincent Parnell, who has been on pit road for quite some time, getting some adjustments made or some damage repaired. He will be now out on the track, sitting in 21st, 2 laps down from your race leaders. As Komatz, as we watch the battle for 8th between Ferguson and Cyril Bernard. Bernard was able to get around Jeff Ferguson and move up to the 8th spot and now sets his sight on the 7th place car of Steve Randolph, who is up ahead. As Komatz was able to get away quickly from Steve Randolph after some close racing action between the 2 drivers as they work their way out of turn 6 up the Ray Hall straight. Currently now we're on board with Johan Nye. We talked about Johan a little bit during the warm-up section of tonight's race. He's looking forward to seeing what he can do, as Fieri also off once again. Currently we see Johan sitting in 14th position in car number 14. As Cyril Bernard has now caught up to the field, making a little contact, a little beating and banging here, as he has caught up to the back bumper of Steve Randolph for that 7th spot. He wants it. He's going to have to try and take it away from him as they come out of turn number 3. Looking through the field right now, still have the battle for 7th, as here comes Bernard. He takes a peek to the inside as they come to turn 6. Can't make it work. Now they're going to go up the Ray Hall straight. This is a great opportunity here as they work here. The draft is going to be significant for Cyril as they come up to the top of the hill through the corkscrew, hit the brake marks. He takes a peek, can't make it stick. Down the hill they'll go up to the rainy curve as he lost all of that time that he's gained and now has to build it back up for the next lap before they get back to the corkscrew as they come through turn 10 and now approaching the braking zone of turn number 11. We have completed 10 laps here, just under 17 minutes to go in tonight's race. And James Frasnick is still your race leader. There's no changes. He has pulled out to about 9.3 seconds. A beautiful drive by James Frasnick as he's looking to go back-to-back wins here in the PCA entry-level series presented by Ballast Point. As we're looking through the field right now, you still have the best battle between Cyril and Steve Randolph for that 7th position as they work their way out of turn number 4, approaching turn 5. Cyril gets a great run-off corner exit. He's going to try to close the gap. He'll look to the inside, but not close enough. He comes through turn 5 a little loose, loses a little bit of time to Steve Randolph as they come out to turn number 6. Into the braking zone. A little bit of lap traffic. Has to be careful, Randolph. They get by him quickly. That is Tom Farfaris, who is having not the best of nights here. Into the corkscrew they go. Cyril tried to close the gap, but can't make it work this time around either, but was able to stay a lot closer this lap as they come through turn number 9, the rainy curve. As they work their way out of turn 10 into the braking zone of turn 11, can we see Bernard closing the gap even more so? Almost makes contact, has to back off, and loses all that time once again. Great battling, great respect among the two drivers. Bernard doesn't want to send Randolph up the road in any other fashion. And as the clock continues to click down here, we have just now crossed over into the halfway point of tonight's race. And with that, it's time to bring you the Midway Race Report, brought to you by Ballast Point Brewing Company. Ballast Point Brewing is based in San Diego, California. Ballast Point Brewing started in 1996 as a small group of homebrewers who simply wanted to make great beer, and evolved into the team of adventurers known today as Ballast Point, a pioneering brewery born 25 years ago within the hallowed hops walls of San Diego's homebrew Mart. The complete art of the craft swims in the DNA of Ballast Point and informs both what's inside on the can. From bringing a hoppy twist to a porter or adding 4 types of malt to its amber ale to creating the breakthrough gold medal winning Sculpin IPA, Ballast Point is known for adding its touch and asking if there's a better way. For more information on Ballast Point Brewing Company, including a list of tasting rooms locations, visit their website at www.ballastpoint.com. Currently right now, from the Suncoast, Florida region, it is last week's winner from Long Beach, James Frasnick in car 76, having a beautiful run here tonight. He's got the pole and never looked back. Moving on to second place, he started third. He's gained 1 position. He's not 8.2 seconds back. Golden Gate region's very own Chris Sari in number 19. Third position, the Las Vegas region driver in car number 5. He started 4th, gained 1 spot, is Fred Chin. In the 4th position, starting 6th, has moved up to 2 spots from the Pacific Northwest, is Enrico Gregorado, who have a beautiful car right there in that blue and green Sparko livery. Moving on to P number 5, he started in 9th position, gaining 4 spots, John Gibson from the Rally Sport region. In P6, he's our biggest mover of the race, gaining 10 positions. It's the Rocky Mountain region's very own Steve Komatz as we look through. Beautiful, nice, clean paint scheme with the silver, blues, and teals and whites. In car number 7, in P7, he's gained 3 spots after starting 10th. From the Potomac region, it's Steve Randolph. Next up on the field, from the Ohio Valley region, car number 18, he started in the 15th position. It's Jeff Ferguson. Moving on to 9th position, from the Art LA Tex region, it's Andrew Eloila, who started in the 5th position, has dropped back 4 spots, looking to recover here in that Fanatic paint scheme. Cyril Bernard has dropped a couple of spots. The Northeast region driver started on the front row, has lost 8 spots, but has also fallen back outside the top 10 at one point, and now sits in 10th position. P11 goes to Randy Lervold from the Pacific Northwest. He's working his way up through the field, a beautiful drive as he is trying to get home another strong position. P12, Tim Sherrock from the Gold Coast region in that beautiful, clean Martini livery Porsche, the 924, definitely has one of the best looking paints, I would have to say, out on the racing circuit. P13, he's the last car on the lead lap. It's the Potomac region's very own in the 402, Michael Lang in the PFC Brake Porsche. The first car one lap down in car 28. It is the Canada West's very own Graham Rennie. Moving on back to Johan Nye, the Potomac region's driver in 141. In the 15th position after starting in 18th, has gained 3 spots. So a great drive, and now moves back to 16th because Art Schwartz has moved up to 15th as he works his way through. Charles Fieri in the 26th. The pink Porsche has not had the best of nights, has had some off tracks, but is now still out there on the track, just keeping on with the racing here. Great attaboy for Charles Fieri as he is trying to regain some spots after starting in 7th position. Josh Carson from the Pacific Northwest region in that dark green red racing Porsche. As I try to see what team he's representing for, I believe it's the SS South Sound Racing Porsche in car 253. Great drive. So he's working his way through here in the 18th spot. Car 22 in the 19th spot, it's the Hill Country's Brad Boyd. After starting towards the back of the field, he has stayed kind of in that same area after starting 17th. And currently in 20th, Tom Farfaris from the Upper Canada region in the plaid Porsche, the Pfaff Motorsports-inspired Porsche, as he is trying to keep out of some drive faster cars' ways and just finish tonight's race. A good drive right now for Farfaris. Vincent Parnell from the Metropolitan New York region sits in 21st, 4 laps down. Not having the best of nights, was on pit road for some, close to 20 or 30 minutes, or at least 10, 15 minutes at one point. And David Sells still on pit road right now. The Central Indiana driver not having the best of nights here. He is our last car on the racing circuit here tonight. And with that, this concludes tonight's Midway Race Report, brought to you by Ballast Point Brewing Company. Make sure to go visit them at www.ballastpoint.com and make sure you get some of that Sculpin IPA. We are going to take a look at second place driver Chris Sari, who currently is the only driver to have yet collect any incident points here tonight, which means he's so far our clean driver of the race. A great accomplishment if you're able to compete in any one of iRacing's many races, whether it be in leagues, official races, or even time trials, and not to get any incident points. That in itself is an accomplishment. So a great big thumbs up for Chris Sari to not have any incidents here. Of course, there's still a lot going on, 7.5 minutes, but James Frasnick only has 1 incident point, so a great drive. Usually with that 1 incident point means he just had a small off-track incident, might have clipped one of the corners a little too much, got his tire dipped into the dirt a little bit. That gave him that 1 incident point. Tom Farfaris, also one of our other clean drivers. He only has 3 incident points. Usually with that could be either a small spin or just multiple times going off the track. So a great job for Tom as he's continuing to run on in 20th position. Looking on for the battle for 7th position. It's a 3-car battle for that 7th position. Andrew Aloya, Steve Komatz, and Cyril Bernard back at it once again as one car is around as they work their way out of the corkscrew. I believe that's Josh Carson who was involved. Here we go to the outside. Bernard gets around Komatz and takes that position away, move him up to P8 in the number 88 with 6.5 minutes left to go. Coming out of turn 11, a great drive for Cyril Bernard after starting in second, fell all the way back as far as 16th or 17th position, and now has recovered to the 8th position. He still has time, though, with 6 minutes left to go on the clock. Of course, some great, beautiful camera angles and camera work done by Ryan Bauer and Dougie Beard, our producer, and camera is provided by Dougie as well, as they continue to do more great racing action here underneath the Firestone Bridge at Weathertech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. As they work their way up through turn number 5, heading into turn 6, more still starting to pull a little bit apart. Cyril trying to now set his sight on car 24. So we're going to take a look what happened to Cyril Bernard. He had an off track somewhere where he did drop back a little bit as we take a look at the replay. There you see Randolph and Bernard entering up to the Andretti hairpin. As he goes in, does he get loose off corner exit, or does he get the door shut on him? Yes, he tried to get the door shut on him a little bit, loses that time, hard contact to the tire barrier. But one of the good things about racing in the world of iRacing is you can choose to have damage on or not damage on. And due to the fact these drivers are learning the ropes of sim racing, we decided to take that damage off so that Porsche looks like it's never even touched or scraped the wall whatsoever. As we see James Frasnick still leading the way here, 4 minutes left to go in today's race. As they work their way through, they have completed 19 laps here. A great drive as they continue on to do battle here at WeatherTech Raceway throughout the field. It's kind of died off a little bit with some of our competitors. They're starting to be spacing themselves out. So currently the fastest time goes to James Frasnick as well with a 122.839. A beautiful attempt for him as he continues to race his way through. In fact, the last time we saw the IMSA WeatherTech series racing, and with, of course, the Porsche GT3s that you see on the track, in fact, it was a Porsche 911 GT3R that took home the checkered flag. That was, of course, the Fast Motorsports Porsche with Lawrence Van Thor and Zachary Robichon who took home the checkered flag. But with that, we're going to give you a full lap guide presented by James Frasnick. As they come across the line, you're going to now hitting speed up through the first corner of 140 miles an hour. You want to brake around that third brake marker. Ooh, little contact with the lap car right there as they come through the Andretti hairpin. More contact. That's a big no-no. That's a wave of the finger that you should not be doing. As they come through turn 2, you want to hug that inside track out a little bit underneath the Firestone Bridge through turn 3. As you come through turn 4, you can go a little bit faster, keep the throttle down as you approach turn number 5. You want to start braking around that number 2 or in between the 2 and the 3 marker. As you come out of turn 5, you're going to come up to turn 6. This corner, you can breathe the throttle just a little bit. Don't need to hit the brake. And then it's the steep climb up the Rainy or the Ray Hall Straight. You're going to hit speeds closing in of 135 miles an hour before hitting the braking zone just shy of the 2 marker, and down the corkscrew you go. Up to the Rainy curve of turn number 9, a great way to build momentum. Watch out for the car getting light in the back of the car. And then through turn 10, you can let it breathe just a little bit before you enter one of the hardest braking zones, turn 11. hitting the brake zone around the 1 marker. You're going to then track out just a little bit to the way that green patch is, and that is a lap around WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. And he set a 124.542 that time by with 1 minute 40 seconds left to go. It should be 2 laps to go for your race leader, James Frasnick, as he will start to continue to race here tonight. As we watch on and see Frasnick work his way through lap traffic, he's coming up to the back bumper of Tim Sharrock, the 924. Frasnick has lapped up to the 11th place car. This will be the 10th place driver of Tim Sharrock. As they approach the corkscrew up through the Rahal Straight, now down the braking zone of the corkscrew. Frasnick does not need to push it. He has a 16-second advantage over Chris Sari as they come through the rainy curve. Frasnick just needs to be patient, pick and choose his times when to pass as he comes through turn number 10. And with that, the world traveler himself, Barney the Flagman, as we like to call him, waves the white flag one more time around for James Frasnick as he comes across the line and down into the Andretti hairpin for the final time. Could we see a domination in the Ballast Point entry series here for the PCA for James Frasnick? He won at Long Beach. The last time we've seen drivers be this dominant was back in Series 2 and Series 3, where we saw none other than William Levesque be absolutely dominant, winning every single race in his series to clinch a championship. Through turn number 5 for the final time, as it comes up to turn 6 and then up the Rahal Straight for the final time. As he now hits speeds of 125 miles an hour, he hit the braking zone through the corkscrew. Has some lap traffic ahead of him, but does not need to worry. He has 17 seconds to the good through the rainy curve for the final time. Up to turn 10, just hits his mark to beautifully drive his way through turn 10. Up to turn 11. No problems really for James Frasnick in the number 76. He leads from flag to flag at WeatherTech Raceway. Back-to-back wins for James Frasnick. And with that also, as we see second place driver as well, Chris Sari, give him the big thumbs up. The cleanest driver of the race, not a single incident point. Chris Sari from the Golden Gate region represents the state of California very well with a strong second place finish as Fred Chin comes home in third. Those are your podium finishers as we see Enrico Gregorato coming through in the number 3. He will come home in 4th position. Beautiful drive for Enrico as he started 6th, had a great couple of battles as the Rally Sport Region's John Gibson comes across the line to round out your top 5. Oh, trouble for Steve Randolph. Did he run out of fuel? Well, trouble for Steve Randolph. We'll see if he will be able to come across the line. And Cyril Bernard has picked up a couple of spots. He will finish 6th position. What a drive. And as we wait for the last few cars to come across the line here, we will see. There goes Steve Komatz. No other major battles for positions, unfortunately, but we will give you the full field rundown and then speak to your podium finishers here tonight. The Suncoast Florida region's happy once again as James Frasnick is your race winners by over 19 seconds for Chris Sari, who didn't get a single incident, so he's our clean driver of the race. Fred Chin will come home in 3rd, followed by Enrico Gregorato in 4th position. 5th place goes to John Gibson, followed by Cyril Bernard in 6th. 7th goes to Andrew Aloya, followed by Steve Komatz, the last car on the lead lap in 8th. Steve Randolph will come home in 9th, 1 lap down, followed by Tim Sharrock, rounding out your top 10. 11th goes to Randy Lervold, followed by Michael Lang in 12th. Jeff Ferguson comes home 13th, followed by Graham Rennie in 14th. Arthur Schwartz will come home in 15th, followed by Charles Fieri in 16th. And Johan Nye rounds out 17th. 2 laps down goes to Josh Carson in 18th. Brad Boyd 3 laps down in 19th. Tom Farfaris 4 laps down in 20th in car number 20. 21st goes to Vincent Parnell, and Dave Sell is the last car to finish the race. He will come home in 22nd. And with that, we will give our drivers a few minutes, and now we will speak to James Frasnick from the Suncoast, Florida region. James, you go back-to-back, but this one a little less uneventful for you as you lead from flag to flag.
Yeah, well, Dominic wasn't here, so I didn't have to follow him for the whole race.
But still, as we continue this California quest here, a great drive overall. Was there any issues that you had to overcome, though, out on the track? I noticed a couple of lap cars had a little bit of trouble with you in the late stages of the race.
Just one lap car, really. Everybody else was really, really good at letting me pass. Yeah, there was just one car I was behind, and I've been flashing my lights. I don't know if that just to let people know I'm lapping, but yeah, he was pretty adamant that he was going to defend his position, and I went off track. And I was just a little bit more aggressive when I got back up behind him. I didn't really feel like he was going to let me by, so that's what I decided to do. But yeah, there was a couple of corners that I just really, kind of clicked for me last night when I was practicing that kind of knocked about half second off my lap time. And I'm just happy to be more consistent than I have been. Like, that's really my goal. Just set consistent laps.
Well, you certainly were consistent from start to finish. Anyone you would like to say thank you before we let you go and celebrate this victory?
Doug Atkinson for all the hard work he does. And all the admins on Discord, man. You guys do a great job.
Well, we appreciate that. That is James Frasnick from the Suncoast, Florida region, going back-to-back here in sunny California. Next up is a driver who finishes in second place and didn't make any contact, any incident. Chris Sari. Chris, a beautiful drive here in your home state of California. How do you feel about this finish?
Thanks. It was a lovely drive, and everyone was driving really well. It was a lot of fun, and like you said, I didn't screw up too badly, so I'm happy.
Explain to our listeners a little bit the difficulty of trying to keep this car on the tarmac, not make any contact with any other drivers, and be able to still come home with a strong finish, as we saw here tonight.
For me personally, it's patience and not getting overly greedy, especially before the tires and brakes are warm.
Certainly agree with you on that one, Chris. Well, before we let you go and celebrate this podium, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
Thanks to everyone running PCA Sim Racing. This is a ton of fun, and all the fellow racers for showing up and making a good evening of it.
Of course, that is Chris Sari from the Golden Gate region, coming home in second place. From a Floridian to a California native, now we go to Nevada to Las Vegas. Fred Chin coming home in third place. Fred, a great drive for you. How do you feel about this finish?
I'm just glad to finish. This is in real life. I've crashed many times in turn 4. I'm just glad to do this on the sim and actually come out clean.
Explain to our listeners, and since you competed at this track in the real world, the similarities that you saw in the virtual world while driving at this circuit.
It's very precise. I think there's a little more runoff room coming out of 5. It's a long one all the way up to the hill, but it's very, very, very accurate and very, very realistic. And I appreciate even the sounds of the cars are very accurate.
Fred, before we let you go and celebrate this podium finish, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
I appreciate PCA for putting this on and Ballast. I think it's really great that we're doing this. I have a lot to learn. I appreciate all the people that are on here. I apologize if I accidentally bump you. It is not intentional at all. and I really appreciate everybody's cooperation.
Well, we appreciate your cooperation and your great racing attitude here tonight after coming home in third. That is Fred Chin from the Las Vegas region. Well, with that, we're not done. We have more great racing action still to come. In fact, the next round will be Thursday, October 21st. As we head to the Auto Club Speedway, we're going to be competing on the road course configuration that they have for the iRacing service and the real world before we see that track turn into a short track, but it will forever be here in the virtual world. But we still have more great racing action coming tomorrow as Series 7, Event 3 for the PCA Club and Pro classes are going to be happening tomorrow, October 15th, at the virtual Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch myself, Joe Peak, DJ Clark, and Rachel Whiteford bringing you all the great racing action. With that, we have to say a big thank you to the steering committee at the PCA Sim Racing. Also, a huge thank you to our team tonight, Ryan Bauer and Dougie Beard. And none of this is possible without those behind the scenes at Podium Esports. James Pike, Gary Sexton, Cisco Scarmuza, and John Theodore. With that, we want to say thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the PCA Sim Racing Ballast Point Entry Level Series presented by Haggerty Motorsports. I am Taylor Burris, and we hope to see you tomorrow night north of the border in Montreal.
Haggerty is the world's largest provider of specialty insurance for enthusiast vehicles and supports keeping car culture alive through youth programs, the Historic Vehicle Association, the RPM Foundation, and more. Haggerty is home to key programs such as the Haggerty Drivers Club, Haggerty Drive Share, Haggerty Valuation Tools, the Haggerty Drivers Club magazine, and much, much more. For more information, visit their website at haggerty.com. PCA Sim Racing is proud to have Haggerty Motorsports as its 2021 title sponsor.